There is a space in my heart where I find the truth. I find me in you, a truth beyond what you may see now. But when we are one, we bring more good about. No matter who or what you call yourself or where you come from, yeah. There is a place in this world with open arms right now. Welcome to love, welcome to peace, welcome to our community. Be who you are, let your light shine. We're so much more when we unite. You are welcome here. You are welcome here. I see with new eyes, allow and unfold, embrace and let go, trust the flow. There's a freedom in love when you follow your heart. Together we are stronger than we could ever be apart. No matter who or what you call yourself or where you come from, yeah. There is a place in this world with open arms right now. Welcome to love, welcome to peace, welcome to our community. Be who you are, let your light shine. We're so much more when we unite. You are welcome here. You are welcome here. Breathe in and out, slowly feel all that's around you, all that you feel, all that you know. Let it go. Welcome to love, welcome to peace, welcome to our community. Be who you are, let your light shine. We're so much more when we unite, yeah, when we unite, oh, we unite, yeah, yeah, when we unite, yeah, yeah. You are welcome here. Love is welcome here. Peace is welcome here. You are welcome here.
You are welcome here. You're welcome to the house of love, the house of transformation. Good evening, good night, good morning, good day to you, wherever you are. Thank you for tuning in. I'm doing that singing thing again. I don't know why I do that. I really don't even know. I don't think about it, and then it starts to happen. I'm a singer in the closet. I'm not ready to come out yet. Thank you for being here. John Stringer welcomed us into this house of love. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening. Thank you for saying yes. You are listening to, well, if I tell you who I am, too, that would help, wouldn't it? I am Ade, your transformational agent. I am also your beingness artist. I have some other nicknames, but there was another one that I used to use that I love, and it came up for me today. So I'm going to share it with you. Your metaphysical rebel. I'm about busting all the myths wide open so you can set yourself free. Welcome to another episode of Ade Presents The Heart of the Matter season 1, episode 4. Today is Thursday, September 3rd, 2020. And I have a guest waiting. She's sitting on the hot seat of transformation right now. And for those of you who maybe listen for the first time, what is that? Well, that's the seat that you invite yourself onto to break through, to look at what is going on and what wants to be seen. On this show, The Heart of the Matter, which is a weekly show every Thursday, 6 p.m. Eastern, 11 p.m. UK time. So I support you in uncovering what is hindering you, what is hidden, what wants to be birthed. And, something magical happens. My guest was like, I wonder what's going to come up. That's usually what it's like. And when you're in that state, when you're living in that place where you're wondering what's going to come up, you're showing up with your intent, your deep intent, you never know what's going to come up. But whatever comes up, it is always going to be for your good. And when you live in that place of what's going to show up today, how am I going to create my life today? That's living in the moment. Whew. So it's every week. And if you want to join, you want to schedule your time, your space to sit on the hot seat of transformation, there's a link in the chat room. I need to post it in YouTube as well. So let me just do it here. So that way, because it is just I right now, got two devices going on. So I need to see what I'm doing. Let's see if that works. Yeah. All right, here we go. Oops, that's not supposed to happen. I am doing this quick thing so everybody can get it and have it. And yeah, there we go. On YouTube. All right. What else do I need to tell you? You can check out the archives of the past show. Ade Present The Heart of the Matter. You can check it out on YouTube and on Facebook. That's the Being You podcast page. It's all on there. Charlie, how are you? S, is that an acronym for something? HSOT, or are you saying host? I don't know, because everything is an acronym now. So I'm getting ready to go in with my guest, and I am so happy to have her. I've been listening, and when you see her, what you're going to see is this big smile, like, I got this. Hey.
You surprised me there. How are you?
India. How are you?
Good. It's hot here. Are you cold? Because we in hot Atlanta.
Yes. Actually, nighttime has sort of been coldish. Well, a few days ago, it was like 40 something. It's like, ooh, it was fine. But 40? Today we had like 48 about 2 days ago. But yesterday and today was like 50s and 60s. But now it's probably gone back down to like 40. So it's kind of cold. Yeah.
We are hot out here. We have not broken it just yet here in hot Atlanta. We have not broken the heat just yet. Everybody is waiting. I'm like 40 degrees. That was like last year, I think.
Right. January,
pretty much. Literally.
India, so nice to have you here.
Yes, and I'm happy to be on the hot seat. I sit on the cold seat in the back.
Well, you're literally on the hot seat, right? As you just
literally.
Okay. This show is different, and I'm not going to put your business out there, but I'm just going to say India is also my co-producer on Tuesday shows. So some of the things I do behind the scene or doing today, she takes care of that for me. But today she's a guest.
Yes, I am coming
on the podcast.
Yes.
So You ready to jump in?
Yes. Let's jump in.
All right. Let's jump into the deep end.
I know how to swim. I was on the swim team, so but I don't know about this deep end.
Well, this deep end, sometimes you just got to surrender to it. Just allow yourself to just drop.
Yeah.
And So, what's going on? What's bubbling up in your consciousness? What made you say yes?
Well, I know you had asked me a couple of weeks ago, and I've been putting it off. So I was like, let me go ahead and do this before my birthday. I'm like, my birthday's coming up. I think when we come around that solar return phase in our life, we get that, look back at what have I accomplished or what can I work on, coming into this new year. And so I think I had felt that of, let's get the old out and let's welcome the new. Let's get it up and out and let's do it. Let's sit in this hot seat.
It's funny, as you were talking, I often joke about, so your birthday is about a week from now, a little over a week. So when you were born, well, many years ago, I keep looking here because I got two things. Many years ago, before you were born, you were putting your luggage together. So you were like, okay, well, giving people a hug. I'm going to be leaving in about a week now. They're like, right. You sure you're going? Actually made me think of something, which I don't know if I'm going to read that because I often don't do that. But anyway, so you want to leave the old, you want to embrace the new, right?
Yes.
So what are some of the old things that are showing up in your life? You're noticing that you're like, go away.
That always shows up around this time too. It's like extra illuminated around my birthday. Let's see. I would say my uncomfortableness with the new or accepting or stepping into the new. I get uncomfortable. It's just, I get so uncomfortable and I will start to stay stagnant. I will start staying stagnant so I don't have to move. So I'll get extra heavy so I don't have to move, or I'll try to avoid it, or I'll try to, there's, different things that I'll do to avoid having to face that situation head on or a situation head on.
Okay, so tell me more about that. What does that look like? Give me an example, an experience that you've had where you know it was an opportunity for you to move forward, and not just move forward, life is calling you forward, but you were throwing a tantrum like a 4-year-old. I don't want to go. I want to stay home. He's like, you got to go to school. No.
There's so much, but right now, we're in the process of moving. So, that in of its own is huge. You're releasing something, you're releasing a home you've been living in for however many years. And I haven't wanted to pack. I haven't wanted to pack my stuff. Like, I just like that. I think it comes a little bit from, being so comfortable in the home, being so comfortable in the home, and just like when I was younger, I was adopted. So that kind of comes up too. So it's like, oh my gosh, like, I don't want to move. I'm so comfortable here. Just that whole process of leaving. I haven't wanted to pack my things, and I'm being pushed to now since, it's being moved up. So I'm like, I don't like it. And I think I'm trying to face that things do change, and I'm so blessed that I have my family here that we're not having to go through it alone, and that, you know, we're here together to do it.
Okay, tell me about what you said about your adoption story. Did you say that comes up?
Yeah, so I mean, I was, you know, was adopted. I'm in such a loving home. I love it. You know, we have our ups and downs, but I absolutely love. And every time when I think about that, I'm like, oh, that's a piece of me that I don't really know, or I've not really stepped into. And I don't know if I'm like comfortable stepping into that, you know, like, I don't know, you know, I mean, I don't know. Like, I just like every time it's a touchy thing, like not really knowing my real family, knowing where my DNA comes from, you know, a lot of people know. Everybody's like, where are you from? Or, you know, where's your family from? And I'm like, I don't know.
Right.
And it's not that I don't want to know. I do want to know, but I don't know if I'm prepared. And I don't know if there's a way you can prepare for that, but I've laid my own foundation for healing for that. And I think sometimes we have to have that space to lay for ourselves. And I just haven't really been able to lay that space for myself.
Yeah. Yeah, I get that. It's not a small feat. That's a big deal.
Yeah.
Right? I heard you say, I have a loving family. You know, the way you said it, like, well, let me just say this. Of course, you have a loving family. And you can have a loving family and side by side still wonder about your biological family. Like, you thinking about your biological family doesn't mean you love your family that you're with now, your choice family, you know? And it's this whole thing about belonging. You know, where do I really belong? And, you know, I wasn't adopted, but I've heard stories. I've seen documentaries about people who were adopted where sometimes there's this longing to go back. And there's this fear to go back. So there's a longing to go, and then there's the fear because something in them wants to know, where do I belong? Where did I begin? And, you know, you say it comes up every year during your birthday, right?
Well, just like kind of looking back at, you know, where I've come from and where I'm at now, you know, that kind of comparison time.
What would you want to know?
I would want to know why.
You
know, I wouldn't want to know why.
Why what? Breathe. Take a breath. Take a breath. Breathe. Don't go in your head. Don't go in your head. Just breathe.
Stop me. I was like,
yeah. Why what?
Oof.
Breathe. Just take your time. No rush. Just breathe.
Why couldn't you, or well, whoa. Why couldn't you get off drugs to, you know, have a better life for yourself?
Take a breath. I want you to breathe. You've heard me say it. Imagine your nose is on your belly button. So you take a deep breath in.
So yeah.
What is another why under that one?
Why was I not special enough? Why was I not good enough? Yeah.
Why were you not special enough and good enough? What? Seems like it's why wasn't I special enough? ...
Yeah.
Yes, we gotta fill it. You gotta fill in the blanks.
Why was I not special enough? Why was I not good enough to be kept?
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah. Why was I not that, why was I not special enough to feel as though you could have changed your life?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
For the better. Yeah.
So
Come a little tea. I got my makeup on. I can't cry.
stay right here. Stay right here. Stay right here. Don't go, I know you're funny. You're natural, but stay right here. Because for me, what I'm sensing, this is it. It's like going somewhere else and feeling like there isn't, you don't have closure with what happened there. Now we're going somewhere else, a new experience.
Like a bounce and a bounce and a bounce. Like, okay, well, we'll just try to get to it later. Or it'll come back up to be healed some other time.
Because those questions that you have are constantly running in the background like a program on a computer.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I want to commend you for speaking that loud. I know that was not easy. You wanted to just like tap over it, like walking on water. But I told you we're going deep, right?
I know, like we dove deep.
So I want to ask you, I don't know if you've ever said that out loud to someone, with your friends, to yourself. Have you?
No, I haven't like reached that depth of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I haven't reached that depth of it because I haven't really finished the sentence off. And I think speaking for me is a healing mechanism, and not sometimes, but writing is as well. But I can, when you're speaking, you're kind of just going with flow of consciousness. When you're writing, you can stop your thoughts and be like, oh, I wasn't thinking that. So sometimes I stop my thoughts, but speaking it, clearly had it come out a little, not a little, but all of it come out, kind of say.
Because when we're speaking authentically, we're speaking the truth, it comes from the heart.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you get to voice what's in your heart, and then you get to feel it and see it. And when you feel it, you can't deny it. So you said you never finished a sentence or sentences. What does that feel like to you? What are you feeling? What are you sensing now that you spoke it out?
I feel lighter, honestly. I do feel lighter. It's still, it's still a question. It's still a want, a desire. But I think now that I've been able to say it, I can say it again and get stronger with my intent behind it. So that if that space or that time does come, I'm not sobbing in tears trying to get my questions out. And not saying that sobbing in tears is bad.
Come back. No.
Sobbing in tears is bad.
Right. I get that. But here's the thing. Because what I want you to be present. Because you're not going to know what's going to happen if you do decide to go back and find out. Because sometimes we run what I call futurizing, that we miss what's happening here. Because even in this moment, you can have the answers that you need right now to help you fill in that void. And instead of try to plan, well, when it does that way, if I say it out now, I'll be ready. You don't know. We don't know.
True.
Does a part of you feel like you're betraying your parents now? Your choice parents? Why was it difficult for you to finish the statement?
Because there's like a sense of anger behind it. There's still an anger, still a question mark, still a anger, question mark, just those emotions behind it. That's why, it was a little harder, but yeah, I just haven't like really spent the time to kind of sit in those emotions. Those are not emotions I try to sit in, because when it comes, it'll come, and I know I'll be ready and prepared and have done some work to be there. So,
were you scared of the emotions? If you, in the past, you said you never finished the sentence. The reason you didn't do it is because there was some anger there. Were you scared, nervous, worried about what you're going to discover about the answer?
Yeah, a little bit. I think it's a little 50-50. I think I'm brave enough and strong enough to know the answer, but also, I've lived this long within a particular family, a particular setting, a particular, it's something I know. And, when we talk about working through our own family, I guess, lineage and seeing what comes up in our family lineage and healing that. And, I've been working so long on, this side of myself, this new side that I've been able to birth. It's like, oh, I have to, I'll once have to go back and walk that path and discover at a more aware age where I know more. I'm not, a baby growing up into that world as an adolescent. So it's just kind of consciously knowing. And, when you consciously see things, it's like, okay, I can either do it or not. And it's like, maybe I don't want to do it. Maybe I don't want to go back, and choosing that path. So there is that.
So choosing that path, what do you mean? Tell me more about that.
Choosing that path to go down and rediscover myself as, India Wiggins. That was my birth name, as India Wiggins. To see what the Wiggins family looks like, to see what that side of myself looks like. So yeah, going down that path, I've never been down it. So there is a fear, and it's like, it's dark. If I see the path, it's a little dark. I don't see any light right now. I'm not saying that it's bad or anything, because I'm not saying the dark is synonymous with bad, but I'm just saying it's something unknown to me. So it's something that I'm not comfortable with. So, yeah. So I'm just not, I haven't been comfortable in that yet.
Right. So you didn't go there. I didn't want to go there because, I might not like what I see. But every time you deny it, you're not at peace with it.
Yeah.
So it's like something, I like using an analogy of a child, a 3-year-old, saying, Mommy, there's a monster in my room. He's in the closet. And if the mother keeps saying, get back in your room, there's no monster in there, the child's going to be scared. But until maybe the mother or the father goes in and open the closet and make a lot of loud noise, and tell the child, I killed a monster. You did? Yep. And open the door. There's a sort of faith or trust that comes with knowing that the mother did kill the monster, and the child will sleep like a baby, no pun intended. So when there is something going on in our mind, and we don't want to go back and look, we give it power. It gets bigger and bigger and it becomes to influences our choices. And being able to, whether you actually go back to your biological parents or not, you deciding, however you do it, you decide to look back would actually empower you, because there is a part of your power that you've left over there that is dark, is dangerous, is scary. I don't know what I'm going to see. Let me just leave it alone. There's a part of your power that's there. And it may mean you literally meet up with them, or it may just be just what you're doing right now. To say, you know what, there's anger there. So that way you get to go back to it from a more empowered perspective. So tell me about that anger.
I mean, it's not like over the top anger. Just, you know, more of the like, why wasn't I good enough? Anger, the hurt, more of hurt. It's not more of anger, it's more hurt. It's on the side, more of hurt.
That's right.
And abandonment, just that. So it's not much anger. You know, I pray and I hope, you know, they are good and everyone is good, and I want to, you know, understand and get to know my family and stuff. So it's just more pain and hurt. I mean,
right.
And hurt.
Good job, because oftentimes anger comes from hurt and pain. But most of us will not say, I'm hurt. We'll say, I'm angry, I'm upset, I'm mad. But behind the anger, the upset, there's hurt. That is a more deeper, more revealing confession, if you will. So you being able to look at it and say, well, actually, it's not an over the top kind of anger. Well, actually, I'm hurt. Even this process now is bringing you closer to really looking at what's the program behind. You know, you deal with finances, and we're talking about how you help people see how they're relating to money. So, you know, money being energy, you're now looking at how you're relating to your own energy and how maybe energy is leaking. You know, I got some hurt around this. Is this hurt towards your biological mother, your biological father, or both of them?
It's more mother. It's more the mother figure. I don't even energetically feel that my father figure was a father figure that was in my mother's life. Just energetically, I don't feel that. But yeah, it's more towards my the mother figure. Yeah.
And the questions you have for her again, tell me those questions again. Why wasn't I
good enough? Or why wasn't I enough? Why wasn't I special for you to decide to change your life? Why wasn't I good enough? Why wasn't I special?
So, and then those are the questions, which tells me the conclusion you've drawn from those questions is, I'm not special enough for my mother to change her life, and I'm not good enough.
Yep.
So we human beings, we're meaning-making machines. We make meaning out of any and everything. And without knowing why she did what she did, the meaning you've given it is you're not special enough and you're not good enough. How did you come to that conclusion?
I guess like Because, you know, when you welcome a child into the world, it's like, you know, that, or you know that you're pregnant and embarking on this journey. Most women go through that natural change of, oh, wow, like I'm, you know, this is another part of me that's special. That's, you know, I want to make sure that this little one has, or, you know, has the best that they can have, that I
Mm-hmm.
can give them that best,
Mm-hmm.
that selfless feeling as well too.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe, you know, maybe adoption was her selfless act.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I just thought of that. Like maybe that was her selfless act. But I mean, not but. But
Maybe that was the
still,
selfish.
like it may be
Mm-hmm.
selfless, but you know, I don't know. That's, you know, that's more. There's more depth behind that because I still had a but.
Well, part of the but could be we just have a way of making people wrong.
Mm, yeah,
Because if we make them wrong, then we're right.
yeah.
See, even when you thought maybe her giving me away for adoption was a selfless act, you're like, oh, wait, then that means everything I thought about her will be wrong. No,
Right.
that can't be wrong. No, no. There's got to be more to it. What if that's the answer?
And I mean, and I honestly, I mean, at that point, I just thank her. It's just, and go back within myself and yeah, thank her. I think I need to appreciate, even though the energy wasn't physically there, appreciate more of the passage. She was the passageway for me here.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think I give her enough credit because she still birthed this child.
She passed life on to you. She passed life on to you.
Mm-hmm.
And being able to move to a different point of view. You know, there's many places we can stand about how we see our life was happening. We're just saying, well, maybe her giving me away for adoption was a selfless act. Maybe she recognized that this child is so special because I didn't even know I could have a child. And I know I can just feel it that I'm not able to give her what she needs because she's more than enough, special enough. There's got to be someone who could do what I feel I can't do. Now, we don't know if that's what you thought. Clearly, I'm making it up. But everything in life is made up. But when you start looking at different possibilities, like why wasn't I special enough? Why wasn't I good enough? That you couldn't have changed your life for me? You know, a mother gives birth. I mean, come on. How could you give birth to a daughter and give her away? What kind of a mother are you? That's part of the stories we're told, but where is it ever written that a mother gives birth and must take care of that child for the rest of her life? With this thing called life, there's no manual. There are experiences.
Mm-hmm.
Some people, you know, some people come as a surrogate. Some people show up as a surrogate mother.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like there is a societal construct of what it's like to have a parent and you're the child and it looks like this, but it's not true. You're a living example of that. What if her giving you away for adoption was the selfless act? Because she saw that she just knew, like you said earlier, energetically enough, you had an energetic sense that you don't think your dad was fully present, or your father, however you want to describe him. But what if she knew energetically this child is going to require so much more? You said she was on drugs, and I won't be able to do it. Even if it was child protection services. Clearly, there was an agreement that she wouldn't be able to give you what they believe on a physical level. We're not even going to go on a spiritual level yet. That you're going to need in order to live the life that you came here to live. So now, on one hand, you have, why wasn't I special enough for you to stop using drugs? Why wasn't I good enough for you to change your life? And then on the flip side, well, you talked about the selfless acts that happen between mother and child. And now you're thinking, what if what she did was a selfless act? So I can be right where I am today. Mm-hmm. And just being able to just hold both without drawing any conclusions, without making it wrong or making it right. And on top of that, so I'm going to say this two ways. I think maybe two ways or one. There is nothing that you came here to do that your soul doesn't have what it takes to support you in it becoming a reality. What if you as a spirit in the spirit realm, I was joking earlier about this time many years ago, you were like, okay, I'm getting ready to go to Earth. Bye. I'll see you later. It's like, oh, why am I trying to hug you? We don't have buddies. Oh, I'm just thinking about it, What if you needed to be here so much that your spirit just looked for the available woman, the available mother? It's like, oh, I don't care. I need to be there. There's the school of thought that we choose our parents. Whether that's true or not, it is what it is. But what if you chose her so she can pass life on to you? Because if we're going to make up stories about, I can't believe she didn't give up drugs and alcohol and she gave me away, what kind of mother would do that? You're making it up because you've never had the conversation with her. So you can also make up another story. Not to replace the old one, but just to kind of see what that feels like in your body. And when we are able to, what I call zooming out a little bit, like, okay, she never was able to give me away. Okay, she gave me away. I can't believe she did that. Well, I'm glad she gave me away because I love my new family. And, and hey, what if, start seeing this broader perspective, what if her giving me away for adoption was a selfless act? Wow. What if she knew that somebody else was supposed to grab the baton called India and move her to the next level? Tell me what's going on with you, what's bubbling up, what you're feeling and hearing.
Well, sitting with that new realization of, this, the selflessness of her adopting me. Of her giving me up for adoption. And then how much I love my mom. I love my moms. I love my family. They've been so supportive, beyond my wildest imagination. Could have imagined such a great childhood growing up in a great neighborhood, in a great school. I had my own whole backyard with the place that And I think
which makes me think, what if you're so special, you're so amazing that you needed more than two parents to raise you?
Right.
Like, we need a community to raise this one. She's small, but we need to have a community around her.
Literally a whole community. No, really, a whole community. More than two parents. So, you know, there's definitely a place of gratitude that starts to come up now. And I think when I don't acknowledge, because I did a little bit of mother work before, and I came to this place of gratitude, but I think when I don't acknowledge that and I forget just that passageway that I came through, because I still came through a passageway. I still, like, I'm here, so I came, like, I really made it to the other side. And I don't honor that passageway. I do get more, like, I get the friction of, and then it's like all this work I've done has made it seem like it's not anything. But yeah, it's more like it's another place of gratitude. It's like, wow, I am thankful. Like, thank you so much. I just, now I want to build more of an energetic relationship.
You heard that bird celebrating with you?
Right. Like, okay, so let me tell you this. So there's, they had just flown out, but when we were doing it, there's two little birds that come and make their little nest right here at our house. And it's the cutest little thing. And they'll just like watch me while I'm out here. And one of them was like, just watching me. And then he just flew out when you had said something, but it made me think. And he just flew out. I'm like, whoa, don't move so fast, little birdie. But it's, a mother and a father raising a little young. But yeah, it's more gratitude and more gratitude that needs to be done of thank you, that passageway.
And the whole thing about metaphysical rebel, we the power of gratitude. And you can hold that even if you do find a story that didn't match this new gratitude that you're feeling.
Are we on the same flow? Because I was about to say, because sometimes it's hard to hold that. I was going to say it's so hard to hold that. And I've been learning, because I've also been learning just with my own mom. Sometimes I can be I can be that child that likes to hang on to the last to the last thing drops. And sometimes I know I can't take all of my mom's energy from her. And even if the gratitude is hard to hold, I'm learning to also go to the great mother, the ever expanding energy, that energetic field of mother. Whether it's for me to like just go sit out in the grass and make a connection. But I think because when I was saying gratitude, I'm like, okay, gratitude sounds easy, but it's like deeper work. So, yeah, because I'm like, I can hold gratitude, but sometimes I may not be able to. I don't know if every time I'll be able to be like, well, I'm thankful for you. Maybe.
But here's the thing. Whether we are grateful or grumpy is often determined by the thoughts we're keeping. And yeah, sometimes you just can't find it. But can you be grateful that right now I want to be grateful, but I just can't get this? There's an awareness of gratitude.
Yeah.
So one of the things that you said, which is pretty powerful, she passed life on to you. She passed life on to you. And you're never disconnected from her or your father. Because you said something the other day, and I'm going to remind you. Yeah, I was like, okay. You remember when you were on the show, when I had you and Kane, and I asked you guys a question, and you said, we are reborn through our parents.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, energetically reborn through our parents.
Yeah. It's like there is this renewal that happened. Life is reborn through your mother that is called India. So because she gave you life, you get to look back. It's like, I can't believe you didn't keep me. And she could say, you better be glad I let you out. Because we won't be having this discussion. You know? There's an agreement there. There's a soul agreement. There's a spiritual contract there. And the key is, it's not. I'm not saying, "Oh, have gratitude for her," because what wants to happen will happen. But if you start to focus on what is about you right now, have you had this conversation with your parents now?
I think we've had, and it's conversations we've gone over, not gone over, like in a structural way gone over, but yeah, conversations we've had of feelings, even with counselors as well. I've definitely had it with my mom, definitely, more of my mom, Michelle, just because it, resonates a little more there. So yeah, we've definitely come up with those conversations. Those conversations definitely come up. And
do you know what I'm thinking? So go ahead. I'll say.
No, go. I want to hear. These look like
I love
me up.
Especially when I think of your names and how what you said you felt about your middle name, and then what you felt about your last name until maybe about a few months ago, and the fact that your last name, both names, starts with a W.
Which name?
Wiggins and White.
Yeah, Wiggins and White. Yeah. And I always used to be like, "Oh gosh, another W. I'm gonna be last." Well, there goes that consciousness. I'm like, man, I could have been first in the roll call, and now I'm gonna be last in roll call again.
Trust me, you don't want to be first in roll call, because I always get called first, even when I didn't want to. My first name is A, my last name is A. It's like, when they're looking for volunteers. So yeah, I got the front, you got the back. Like, But there are things there that you can see that is affirming you today.
Yeah.
And you get to choose what you're going to focus on, really.
Right.
You can choose to focus on what you think she should have done that she didn't do. You can focus on she passed life on to you. And for whatever reason, whether she thought she could be a good parent, whether she had no control over your adoption, you're where you are. Now, those are good mental things, but to integrate it, I don't know what conversation you had with your parents, but obviously it's something there that's calling for you to look at it. So you may want to consider learning, researching, whatever you need to do to kind of see, I want to see that connection. I want to make that connection. There's a program on PBS, and I used to remember watching it when I was in Atlanta. And, when people find out about their great-great-great-grandparents, they do their DNA, and then they tell them about, what was it called? It's Henry Louis Gates on PBS. I can't remember the name of the show, but it's about, and what is it? I think it's called Who Do You Think You Are? You should check it out. Okay. And you will find people.
Is it that the one about the adopted people? The adopted?
This was just, they use sometimes a celebrity. I think most of these celebrities. Okay. And basically, and they're trying to find out where they're from, their origin, maybe if it's Africa or if it's linked to Native Americans. And what happens sometimes, people know their parents, their grandparents, but they don't know about their great, great, great fourth generation, fifth generation.
Oh yeah.
And they think yes, I've watched one with Queen Latifah and this other guy in the sitcom This Is Us. I can't remember his name. I can hear it. But anyway, when they make that connection, you always see people get emotional, like, wow, wow. Something happens for us when we see and find our connection. A bug is bugging you over there.
Yes. They're like just coming out the woodworks right now. I'm like, oh my gosh. And I'm not a bug girl. I'm literally not a bug person.
They're celebrating with you.
I know. I'm like, all of a sudden, like, we were peaceful out here. We were making peace out here. And then
I'm going to show you something in a minute. I pulled a card for you.
Oh, cool.
When people find out their history about their fourth generation grandmother, grandfather, maybe some of the stories are disappointing, some of it is liberating, they get emotional. Because I think for every human being, I may be wrong, the one thing that we're always dealing with, the root of all our struggles and pain, is belonging. Where do I belong? Who do I belong to? And when it looks like there's been some interruption, something happens in us. We don't always know what it is, so we give it a name. We label it. We make a meaning out of it. Because it feels bad or doesn't feel good, we make it a negative thing. So we want to take that not feel good and project it on whoever may have caused that separation. And we think by projecting it, we can feel better. But really what we're doing, if we're trying to make someone wrong, then we really are trying to defend being right. So the question is, do you want to be right or do you want to be happy?
Both.
No.
Both and?
No. You're smart. I've had some smart people answer like that. Do you want to be right or do you want to be happy? You get to choose.
I want to be happy. I mean, I could be right, but I know I probably every time I'd get frustrated because I go back in my mind of, well, I know I was right because this, and this, and point out all the facts and details and stress myself out. But I think happiness comes with the bliss of knowing that anything can happen. Anything.
And when you're happy, it really doesn't matter if you're right or wrong. If you're happy, I was wrong. Oops, my bad. Right. I apologize.
Right. You live from this.
If you're happy and you're right, oh, okay. Choosing to be happy is liberating. But choosing to be right keeps us in bondage. Because for us to be right, somebody has to be wrong.
Right.
And we're going to defend that rightness if we believe being right is what makes us happy. So if we believe what makes us right is what makes us happy, we're going to defend it and continue to make someone wrong. And if they try to make our right wrong, we're going to go to battle one way or the other because we're trying to define what we think is bringing us happiness, but you can actually just bypass. I'm choosing to be happy.
Right.
So the idea of not wanting to look, what's going on over there?
I was about to get on my drink. No, we are not. We're not doing this.
So the idea of maybe it is time to go look, to research, to find out may not be a bad idea after all. Because no matter what you find, you will have a clearer mind. You and I had a conversation many weeks ago. We don't have to talk about it, but it was some people feeling like somebody should have done something when they were younger, and why couldn't they have done this? And now they're dealing with the effect of somebody not doing something that they think they should have done when they were younger. We don't know why people do what they do.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes we don't know why we do what we do. But the question is, what are you going to choose now that you know what you know? Because you may find another story about your mother, her mother, your grandmother, biological grandmother, that could start to put things in place for you that makes you go, oh my God. If you choose happiness now, you have a better way of listening for what's to come.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't have to. We have a choice. Like Carol said, happiness is my choice. Like, happiness is a choice. Love is a choice. Everything we do is a choice. So you're in the box over there.
I am not a bug person.
Why
I
would
love
you?
the outdoors,
Mm-hmm.
but especially these Georgia mosquitoes and Georgia flies. As soon as I talk about them, they want to come.
Knowing what you know now, at the beginning you were talking about when you feel yourself wanting to move forward, you try and kind of like resist it. If you think of that, that thought that you had before and where you are now, looking back at that thought pattern, what do you see? Do you see anything different, or do you still see the same?
Can you repeat that question?
So earlier you say that almost every year towards your birthday, you find that when that's one thing, but when you're being moved towards something new, you sort of resist it.
Mm-hmm.
You said you're moving where you are now, you don't want to pack, right?
Yeah.
Knowing what you know now, it's not necessarily, well, it is, but knowing what you know now, when you look at that mindset that when something new comes my way, I usually resist it. What are you seeing now? You see anything different in that mindset? Is it still the same?
No, it's different. I mean, I want to like. There's always going to be that feeling of a little resistance. But I'm thinking more of in the space of how can I move through this? And for me, it has to be kind of like a physical.
What is this? How can I move this? What is this?
Through this energy, like through this resistance energy.
Okay.
So that energy of not wanting to do, move forward or make that change or do the things that will help me move forward for the next year. I've gone kind of in this space of what can I kind of physically do, because it's more of a physical energy, like slumber.
Okay.
And a mental one too. I can get mentally blocked as well.
Yeah.
But helping me get out my mental, I try to do some physical or move towards the more physical thing to do to move through that energy.
And it could also be what moving means to you.
Yeah. Sometimes it's literally not moving, like sitting in a yoga pose for 15 minutes. And that's like my movement, but it's not I'm moving. It's just I'm moving the energy somewhere else and up out of me.
Because sometimes when we say there's resistance or I know I need to do it, well, even resistance is good. We pay a lot of money to play around with resistance, going to the gym.
True.
In order to tone the muscle, it's all about resistance. It's like, oh yeah, I'm kind of buff now. Oh, I'm getting. It's all that came from resistance. So the resistance, when you're feeling like, okay, something new is going to happen, maybe there is a rhythm that you have that you need to pay attention to, rather than thinking you have to do it the way other people are doing it. And what if what you're feeling energetically was your mom not wanting to let you go?
Mm. Maybe.
Life is a game. And sometimes it's challenging. Sometimes we've got to write our own stories. Sometimes we just make up our own stories. Because there is a part of you, there's a deeper, expanded self that's not bothered by the stories.
Mm.
There's a part of you that knows that you're enough. There's a part of you that knows that you're special enough. There's a spot of you as a human being in a human incarnation that knows you're enough. So whatever story we make up is whatever story we make up. And since we're making up the story, we might as well make up a story that moves us forward. And sometimes the moving forward doesn't mean physical forward. It could just be you lying down and feeling like, I haven't packed yet, but I feel a little bit rested. I feel centered. I feel grounded. So I pulled a card for you.
Yeah, what's the card?
Let's see. Oh. And your guide. Nature spirits. Yeah, exactly. So let me read a little bit of this. Your nature spirits, known as runners, are working to introduce you to a wonderful new partnership to fulfill your heart's desire. Whether in the area of business, friendship, romantic love, these practical guides are leading you directly towards the appropriate person. Okay, wait. My glasses started. Oh, there it is. I was faking it because I didn't think my glasses were there. Like, in my head, I'm thinking my glasses upstairs, but it's like, oh boy, which line am I on? I didn't know which line I was on. I was like, wait a minute. Okay. I'm just gonna tell the truth.
Slip right through.
I have issues about putting glasses on while I'm like, oh God, I don't like what that looks like. But anyway, it is what it is. Whether in the areas of business, friendship, or romantic love, these practical guides are leading you directly towards the appropriate person to best support your soul at this time. Follow your heart as they strive to connect you with the right association. Be more open to others, especially those whom you meet by chance. Say hello to a new neighbor in your building. Suggest having lunch with the intriguing woman who sat next to you at your last business luncheon, or strike up a conversation with a guy in front of you in the checkout line, even if it's not your habit. In reality, you said what? You said what?
Kidding. I said I don't like talking to people. I'm just kidding. I run my mouth all the time.
You don't like talking to people, right?
I know. I was gonna say, like, I run my mouth.
In reality, it's not accidental that you suddenly find yourself attracted to certain people. Your runners, which is nature spirits, placed you in their path so that you could meet. Invite these energetic nature spirits to continue to direct you to others who are significant for your soul path. Their message: relax. We will make all the necessary introductions you seek. So,
I like that.
Partnership and love is about connection.
Yeah.
It's about support and knowing that you're not alone. Knowing that nature itself is supporting you, because nature is your nature. And nature, the bird that has a nest next to your house, all of that is symbolic. It's no accident. I mean, I've never heard a bird that loud ever since when we were producing this today. We're just like, really, you're like a mother bird, just like, I'm right here. So it's opening your heart. In your gratitude, you get to, take another breath. I like how Okay, so I want to show you a technique to taking breath, because I don't want you to take it from here. No shallow breath.
Oh,
Once
yeah,
again,
on the belly.
imagine your nose is in your belly button. All right, now take a deep breath in. There you go, and breathe out. When things get shaky and you're feeling resistant, just take a deep breath. Breathe out. It's a reset for your system, for your mind, like we do with phones. Sometimes when it's not working and not doing what it's supposed to do, we turn it off. We restart it. Yes. I'll send you a picture of this, so don't, and I'll send you that. But what I want to say is allow what wants to happen. And even if it feels scary, that's good, because it's letting you know where your power is. Because if you turn around, your power, you're trying to reclaim your power, but if you turn around, you're like, oh my God, it's a trick. It's a trick when we don't want to go there. Oh, that's scary, that's dangerous, I don't know what's going to happen. Your power is calling you back. You are a light being, so there's no need to be afraid of the darkness.
Nope.
You just get to find out the rest of the story. And it could be the best gift you gave your mother. Not that you owe that to her, but we're here to love. She may be holding unforgiveness, maybe feeling shame or guilt or blaming herself. But with what you've learned about life and who you are and your experiences, to be able to turn back and hear her story, you may be angry in that moment, you may feel hurt, but somehow you have the tools to deal with what comes up and to be able to say to her whatever your heart wants to say to her. So that's how we get to heal the past in the present. And there's something about healing. It's not just happening for you. When we are healed, it's affecting everybody else around us. In fact, it's like you're healing for whole of humanity. What do you know now that you didn't know before we started this conversation?
That I can balance and to work a little bit more on balancing the feeling of, why did, the whys and the selfless acts without holding judgment. And I think right now I'm kind of holding a little more judgment on the whys and not the selfless acts that, I've kind of discovered it could have been a selfless act for her. So, yeah, just that part.
Well done.
Balancing that out a little bit more.
Yeah.
And not attaching anything, any energetic cords to it, and allowing it to be what it is and unfold and letting it unfold.
Yeah. And just be a little bit more, there's a word I'm looking for, gentle about the process.
Gentle?
Be gentle about the process. Just a little bit of ease, a little bit of grace. Just be graceful, not like doing the right thing. Just have some grace around the whole process for yourself. And my challenge for you, because I like to give people a challenge, is to go to this place that appears to be a dungeon that really isn't. Find out something about your mother, your biological mother. Maybe your family. Maybe you Google the name. Find out something. There is a part of you that wants to know and needs to know in order to move forward. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Okay.
When you find yourself being afraid, remind yourself that's your power coming back to you. But your mind will be like, no, we can't handle it. Just breathe. Just breathe.
Okay.
Take a breath. Anything else you want to say before we release this conversation?
Thank you for this hot seat transformation.
You're welcome.
And peeling back the layers.
Yeah. Celebrate your birthday.
I will.
And it may actually be a good idea as you look back to where you came from, can open the door for you to birth yourself in a whole new way.
Correctamundo.
It could be the best birthday present you ever gave yourself. Set yourself free. That's it. Your mother rebirthed you, get to rebirth yourself. All right.
I like that.
Thank you. Thank you for saying yes, because that's what it's about.
Yeah.
And as much as you didn't know what was going to happen, it didn't hurt, did it? Like,
no,
it's okay.
No, it wasn't too bad.
And it wasn't too bad.
It's hot. Y'all, it's a hot seat.
It's a hot seat. Yeah, it's a hot seat. So it's a little bit warm, right?
Yeah, it's a little bit warm.
Yeah. Well, I invite you to do some journaling after this. Things that came up for you, thoughts, whatever you heard me say that like in your head sounds good, but you're like, I'm not feeling that. You don't have to take it on board. Just take what works for you. But journal it, keep it, and know that you're special enough and good enough to give yourself the gift of life. All right, India.
Thank you so much all day.
You're welcome. Have a great evening.
You as well.
Kara said, thankfully, I finally learned that nobody can make me happy or unhappy unless I give them permission. I know that's right. But sometimes they kind of slip in. You're like, damn, how did you make me unhappy without me even giving you permission? Thank you all for tuning in. I am going to post the link here if you want to. Carol, I think you're on my Facebook page because I mostly host the show, and everybody else is watching from my Facebook page. I do it from the Being You page, which is Being You podcast page, Facebook. So even though I'm replying to you here, it may not show up on my page. I don't think it does. But yeah, if you want a more interactive experience, you can step into the Being You podcast page on Facebook or on YouTube. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for being here, for your supportive energy, for your consciousness. Thank you for tuning in. I love you. I bless you. I appreciate you. I'm looking for something here. I appreciate you and I thank God for you. I invite you to take whatever you got here, whatever you received from this conversation, from this healing experience, and multiply it. Take the consciousness and multiply it. See you on Tuesday. 1 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. UK time. Peace and blessings.
There is a space in my heart where I find the truth. I find me in you, a truth beyond what you may see now. But when we are one, we bring more good about. No matter who or what you call yourself or where you come from, yeah, there is a place in this world with open arms right now. Welcome to love, welcome to peace, welcome to our community. Be who you are, let your light shine. We're Welcome here. I see with new eyes, allow and unfold, embrace and let go, trust the flow. There's a freedom in love when you follow your heart. Together we are stronger than we could ever be apart. No matter who or what you call yourself or where you come from, yeah, there is a place in this world with open arms right now. Welcome to love, welcome to peace, welcome to our community. Be who you are, let your light shine. We're so much more when we unite. You are welcome here. You are welcome here. Breathe in and out, slowly feel all that's around you, all that you feel, all that you know. Let it go. Welcome to love, welcome to peace, welcome to our community.